Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Liz, and welcome back to Anti-Material Energy. In the last episode, we started working with compact machines. This guy right here, which is actually an 11 by 11 by 11 room, but only takes up one block. It's a mystery. Not really. It's a compact machine. We're gonna be using this for power relatively soon. We're not quite ready to do that yet. But we were starting to work on getting a lot of different things together for applied energistics and power and duplicating items and a bunch of stuff. Between episodes, I cleaned up things. I kind of got things planned out a little bit better than I did last time. We also don't need this guy. Don't plan on using him. Let's put him in here. Grab all this conduit binder. Because we're going to be making some conduits today. Specifically, we're going to upgrade our power conduits so we can have more power. And we're going to upgrade, well, not really upgrade, but we're going to make more item conduits. A lot more item conduits, actually. And the reason being is we want to do some fancy stuff to automate the, what are they called? The inscribers. The inscriber presses. So we have a bunch of different things. Alright. So the plan for first things first, I need to make a filter, which is going to require some iron, some wood, and some paper, which I think I have, but I don't know. We have some paper over here. You know, we can easily get more paper from our farm. And I actually want to, I think I want to learn how to make the hopper. I think that would be good to do. So we'll do that. We'll make some paper. In fact, we'll go ahead and learn paper too. Why not? Paper's pretty cheap. And we don't need to do any more with that right now. But yeah, so we're gonna be making filters. We're gonna need a couple filters, nothing major, nothing all that like drastic, but we're gonna need a few filters to automate the inscribers. And the way we're gonna do it is mostly, well, taking advantage of the Ender IO conduits and how they work with, in terms of like, oh, I don't want to say it, color coding and kind of innate filter system it has, which is really kind of nice. So we're going to want a hopper, and we can go ahead and make the filter. Let's take this out. Take this out, more importantly. We're gonna eat the filter up and learn how to make them, and then we can just kind of duplicate them as we want to. So we don't need a filter on here anymore. Now, something else that's gonna be kind of a challenge to make, that we need to do today. You know, I never looked at this guy. Okay, it's the vanilla recipe. Well, okay, I say vanilla, but what I mean is the standard recipe. It's unaltered. But we're going to want probably a couple filters. So let's go ahead and get a few. You know what? Does this do anything in here? How about a full stack? Nothing. Alright. I have no idea what the recipes are. It's impossible to find any information on the Paracel mod. I was very close to like actually looking at the config files of the mod itself. Like going into the jar and opening it up and like trying to understand what's going on with the code if I could, but I thought, you know what, it's not really worth it. So I'm not going to, but yeah, it's really hard to tell what all we can use that using the IVET thing, because there's no information out there as far as I can find. So wow, those aren't that expensive, but they are, but they're not. Alright, well, anyways, first thing we're going to do is we're going to automate these guys. So I have them set up like this, and with good reason. So first of things first, they're all going to need power. we're just going to do power on the side because why not? Actually, power can be last. Power is kind of not important. And I decided to put them over here. What we're going to do is we're going to have the compact machine probably somewhere around here. And it will connect. We'll just have to make sure we have the right side for connection purposes and all that kind of fun stuff. Which honestly, I think we should probably put that actually on the bottom. I think the bottom would be best. Alright, so that's kind of decided for that. But for these guys, what we're going to do is, let's make this easy. The first one is going to be the silicon press. Second one is logic, calculation, engineering. And what we can do is we can set up these guys, and we're going to be inserting on this side. Now we don't really care about where they're coming from, and let's grab a chest, and we'll put it just right here. So this will be an in-out chest for now. We'll have the insert be on red though. Extract will be always active. So what's going to happen is these are sighted. At least I believe they are in this version of the mod. I'm pretty sure they are anyways. We don't need that because we're going to be setting up an actual ME system very, very, very soon. Hopefully today. So these guys are sighted. This slot is the left slot. This slot is the right slot. The output is the right. The input for the ingot thing is on the left. Then you have top and bottom. So all of these are going to be inserted from the left and outputted on the right. Now I think we're going to need a few more filters. And we'll get to this guy in a second, but we also need to go around this end, and we're going to actually just disable that. So this is pretty much all of the wires we're going to need, other than we're going to need stuff like this. Alright, so let's get to the fun part. This is extract on red, always active. So these are going to produce the different components. So the silicon, the printed silicon, all of the printed stuff. This is going to collect the redstone, either the gold, diamonds, or Certus quartz, pure Certus quartz, and the silicon for all of the circuits. Eventually we can set this up to auto crafting, which we probably will. I don't know if we will for sure yet or not, but we probably will. So we're going to need some more filters. Let's grab a couple of diamonds. And just grab a few more filters, and it'll be fine. We need to eat food. Always eating food. Just like in real life. So we need to grab a piece of gold, a piece of diamond, pure Certus quartz, and we have redstone. Okay. So first things first, we're going to need to filter all of these guys. So this is insert on green. We need to filter this to only accept silicon. So that is pretty easy. And this guy is actually going to be an output on, let's do something that's a little bit let's do gray. Always active. And for that we're going to need, that can actually go right here. Insert on gray. Now for the rest of these, this is where things get interesting. So this one is logic press, so we're going to need a filter for gold. This is calculation, so we need a filter for Certus quartz. Pretty straightforward. And then this will be the engineering, so we need a filter for diamond. I really wish the crystals had exchange value, but they don't. So these three, let's switch to brown, always active. And those will go in, I believe, the top. Insert on brown. So basically, to make the completed circuit, if we look at a circuit, it requires a printed silicon plus the printed circuit and redstone in between. So this will try to put in whatever circuit is done into here. Now the catch is, if there are multiple things going on, these can only take one item at a time, but they can store up to a stack in the output. So one inscriber to make the actual circuits, the processors themselves, will be fine with everything one for each making the printed. We can actually make engineering and logic, and we can make all three at the same time. And then this guy will kind of keep up with this guy. So all in all, it's all fine. And then this is going to be an insert on green. We'll need a filter for redstone. And that's all we have to do. 4 filters, with 5 filters rather. And everything else is through the color coding on the conduits. So that's literally all we have to do. Now we're going to need an engineering processor, so let's make, I don't know, let's make like 16. Now I have an actual question, because I think some versions had this, but some versions don't. Those do not connect. Alright, so if we want power, you know what, let's come back over here, and let's grab some more furnace generators. We're going to want a bunch of those anyways. Once we get the power set up, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually use the upgraded furnace generators. But we can put this guy right here for now. And this will get power to all of these guys. And it looks messy because, well, once you put the power in, it's going to be messy. But let's just do this. And, silicon has an exchange value of 1. We could get a ton of this stuff very easily with that. So let's do exactly that. So yeah, we're just going to continuously kind of get whatever we can out of our transmutation tablet. So I'm not going to complain about it. We're going to need some silicon. There's a bunch of silicon. Alright. So let's go ahead, put a stack of those, put 16 of those, and 16 of those. And as you can see, they will start working. Now here's the nice thing. Because the inputs are all filtered, if something goes in here that doesn't belong anywhere, it won't go anywhere. But we can take this engineering processor, and that is one more step closer to the ME controller. So for the ME controller, we're going to need Skystone. In order to get this, we're going to need carbon nanotubes and white antimaterial. I already have the antimaterial. We just need some carbon nanotubes, which is actually really, really easy. We just take a diamond. I guess we need 2. I forgot. It's only 3. So we can make this into the Skystone. 2, 3, 4. Easy enough. Then we can cook this up. Oh, wrong thing. And we'll be good to go. So that will make the ME controller. And then we're going to need to make like the ME drive, and we don't need the inscribers, but we're going to need a bunch of storage components. I'd like to get at least the 4K, but those are going to require calculation processors. We're going to need a 64K as well, but that's going to be a bit of a pain to do. We're going to need that for the singularity. Now we already have a single 4K, and we do have some printed silicon. We can take some of the stuff out, and yeah, I don't know what to do with the extra printed silicon for right now, but whatever. I Okay. So we have way too much stuff in our inventory. Let's clean up a little bit of it. And let's see, what's the next thing we're going to want to do? We're going to want an IMI drive. So we need quartz fiber, and we're going to need flux crystals. Again, flux crystals are a bit of a pain to get just because of the Certus quartz. So, I guess we can take 2 of these. We don't need any of those right now. And let's grind this up. Now, do any of these have exchange energies? No. Of course not. Why would they? Why did I grind that up? It's not what I wanted to do. I do want to grind up a couple of these though, so let's just grind up 2 more of those, and we'll get some quartz fibers, and that will allow us to make the flux what are they called? The flux cables. So this is done smelting. This will give us our ME controller, and we can do this, get the quartz fibers, and we just need a bunch of Certus quartz now. Let's get 3 sets of Certus quartz. That will give us 6 flux crystals, which will give us the maximum amount of flux cables, flux glass cables as we can get for the 3 quartz fibers. So that's the plan. Let's go ahead and plant that back and dump this stuff in. And this guy, by the way, is completely automatable as well. All you need to do is hook up cables to him. It's actually smart enough to, it's got an internal input and output. It's also, by the way, I didn't mention this last episode, but it's completely random when it actually charges stuff. That's not like a meter or anything. It takes power when something's in there, and it's random tick, more or less. So we have everything. Let's drop 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There is the 6 flux crystals, which will give us 12 of those, which if we grab some iron and a couple of our engineering processors, we can make ME drive, which does not have any exchange value either. So we'll take the housing, we'll make a 4K, and we're gonna want to make something else. So let's get rid of all this stuff right now. We'll get to more ME stuff later, but we're gonna want a view card. View cell. Sorry, misspoke. We're going to want a view cell, which is going to require some quartz glass. You know, let's just grind up a stack of this nether quartz. Why not? And we can break this guy. We have a crafting terminal. We can put this here. And now put this like so. And just kind of clean this all up. So, why do we want to make an ME controller? Well, because we can. We don't want the fixture anymore. Actually, let's take all the stuff off. Now here is the question. No exchange value. Of course not. We'll put both of these in here. And then we're going to want this, the crafting terminal, We're going to go ahead and put away all the rest of this stuff for now. And is this useful for anything? No. Okay. Anyways, what we want to do, we want to make these view cells. So we're going to take some quartz glass. And we're going to want a piece of sorta. And then some iron. And that should be everything for the view cell. So with the view cell, we're going to want, we're actually going to want 2 of those. And you'll see why in a moment. But we're going to take these view cells. And right now, let's see. This is not going to get the power because this is actually connected to not the capacitor. So let's put the capacitor here and then do that. Actually, let's move this around the other direction. And yeah, so it's zeroed out. That's good. That's what we want to see. And like I said, we'll get more power later. So view cards are really nice. But we're gonna need another. We're gonna need to set these, which I don't remember. Do we right click, shift right click? No, we need something else. We need a cell workbench, I do believe, which requires a calculation processor. Yeah. But we can test that and make sure it works. And let's see, what else are we going to need? We're going to need some wool and iron and a chest. That's nothing too bad there. But okay, so we're going to need another crafting terminal as well, which is going to require another calculation processor and a bunch of other stuff. This is going to be expensive. Again, just because of the... You know what, we can do this. Just because of the fluix crystals. So we're going to want more redstone. We want more gold. Okay. So for this guy, we're going to want... Do we have any more illuminated panels? No. Why did we only make 1 of these? It makes 3. That's kind of odd. I thought we would have had more of these. Are they used for other things? We used 1 for the network tool. We used 1 for the ME terminal. And there should still be 1 somewhere. Storage buses, annihilation planes. The ME chest. Oh, okay. So an ME terminal for the ME chest. Okay. That would explain where the last one is. Potentially. Make sure that we don't have one sitting around somewhere. Okay. So we're going to need to make more of this stuff. Oh my gosh, stop. The actual illuminated panels are just quartz glass, so that's not too bad. Panel, let's see, illuminated panel requires quartz glass, which means we need some glowstone as well as redstone and iron. Let's go grab some glowstone. So we're going to be doing a lot of this just to make things nicer for ourselves later. But it will be worth it, I promise. So let's get the illuminated panel. We are going to want 3 more of them anyways. So then this needs to become... So we're going to need 2 flux crystals. Put this away. So we need 2 flux crystals. We're going to need... Let's go ahead and make the cell workbench. So we need 2 wool for that. And we can put this guy down. I don't believe he requires power or anything like that. Let's grab our... We're going to want 1 more glass cable for right now. And so you go over to the water. Drop this, this, and this. That'll give us our flux crystals, which we can then grind up. And then we can make what we need. So we're going to need a formation core and a annihilation core. We're going to need all these logic processors and just a bunch of stuff. So formation cores. We're going to need one of these guys as well. Let's get rid of some of this nether quartz. We don't need all of it. We are going to need another piece of Certus. Our last one. That's okay. So that'll make the formation cores. Then we take 2 of these, 1 of these, 1 of the illuminated panels, and that gives us an empty terminal. And if we want to make a crafting terminal, we need a crafting table and a calculation processor. So nothing too difficult. So we can put that there. And then in the cell workbench, what we can do is we can... how does this work? So let's get rid of all this. The view cell. We're going to want a fuzzy card, and we're going to want 2 fuzzy cards and an inverter. So we're going to need 3 advanced cards. Really, calculation processors again. Seriously. Alright. This is going to be more expensive than I thought. Let's grab... Actually, is fuzzy going to work with this? I wish there was like a... copy partition. Okay, we'll try the fuzzy card. We're going to need a calculation processor. We're actually going to need 2. So we're going to need some more aluminum phosphate. So aluminum. And where are we getting aluminum from? Phosphate I know we can get from bones. But anyways, aluminum phosphate. This is going to use up a lot of power, but we're going to make some more Certus quartz. We're going to want to grind one of these guys up. We're going to need a piece of sand. We can put this one back. Yeah, so we're going to need a piece of sand. I really dislike the thunderstorm. And Certus quartz seeds. Let's go ahead and throw these in here. Alright, so now we need to grab the orange glass cable. Wow, that's not where I wanted it to go at all. And we need to put these back in here because I grabbed them on accident. Alright, so what that's going to do at the end of the day is we're going to get our inverter cards. So we're gonna need a redstone torch for the inverter card. That's easy enough. And we're gonna need wool for the 2 fuzzy cards. And for the advanced cards, we're gonna need diamonds and iron, plus the redstone. So once this is done, we can kind of go from there. Let's go ahead and dump off some more stuff we don't need in our inventory right now. And then we can get back to work. So let's look at our quest book and see if there's any quests we can do. I want to real quick do the MT reload just to make sure all the scripts are reloaded. I like to do that often. I don't know if it's needed half the time, but it makes me feel better. So we have a whole bunch of... Alright, I need to cook the cactus green again. So we have a bunch of charcoal stuff. I'm going to continue making more and more charcoal. That's something that's not going to really stop. Those are done, aren't they? Yep. Alright, so calculation processors are by far the hardest ones to make. Just because of how expensive Certus quartz is. And without having exchange value or anything like that, I don't even think that the... Oh, let's see. You can make it into blocks, and I don't even think that has exchange value now. So as far as I'm aware, we can't like duplicate it easily anyways. We can go ahead and... It's just going to require a lot of power. But alright, we have calculation processors. Cool. So let's make the advanced card. I want to make one of these to begin with. I'll wait to make the other one once we know this first one works the way we want it to. But let's make a fuzzy card. And we'll put that in here. And now we can do match any. Now here's the question. Oh, thank. Okay. So, I'm going to show you guys what this does. So the view card, view cell, whatever, allows you to see whatever you want in here. You can make it so you can avoid seeing things, which is what the inverter card is going to do. So let's go ahead and make an inverter card, and let's put that on here. So I just want to demonstrate. We put magnesium in here. If we take out the fuzzy card, we can put this in here. And now we don't see magnesium. So we take it out. Magnesium is third one down on the left. Now it's gone. So that's cool, but it doesn't really do much for us. If we put the fuzzy card basically just says look at the number after the item and ignore the damage value. So that's the colon number. So magnesium is colon 12 because, well, it's the 12th element. Hydrogen is 1, oxygen is 8, nitrogen is 7. It's the periodic table. So now this says don't look at anything that has the item ID of 4603, which is all the elements, as you can see now. Hold up. Inverter card, match any. Why didn't that work? And also we're out of power. We do 50. So hopefully this... Let's pick this guy up and just bring him over here. And get a bunch more power so we can see this. So theoretically, which one is it? Is it this one? Yes. So theoretically, we put that in there. Why is it only... This might not work the way I thought it would. What if we change this? Split damage at 99. Let's see what splitting damage... No. Alright, so we might not be able to do this the way I wanted to. Which is a pain, but also isn't that big of a deal. We put phosphate in there. It's probably just going to stop showing us phosphate. Yeah, I can still see the silicon dioxide. So, this isn't working the way I thought it was going to work. Just make sure it's match any. Okay, so partition, that doesn't do anything. I just clicked it and just see what it did, but I don't think this will... I want everything to disappear on there, and it's not. So only those two items are. As you see, the zirconium moves over 2. So not what I wanted to do. Alright, well, whatever. What we can do then is... How do we want to do this then? Alright, so we can break this guy. We don't need him anymore. We can dump all this stuff in here. Actually, we don't want to do that yet. Let's make another quartz fiber. And we're going to grab our fixture again. And here's what we'll do. We are going to break this guy. We're going to put the quartz fiber there. And then our cable here with that there. And we're going to need one more of these. And we're going to want a cable anchor. So cable anchors are... looks like any ingot of metal with a cutting knife. Which we don't have any cutting knives. So what's the easiest way? It's 2 sticks. 2 sticks. Quartz. And a piece of iron. So we get some cable anchors. What this does is it will prevent 2 cables from connecting. So what we're doing, and this is kind of complicated, I'll get to it in just a second. I want to make sure that it works first. We put that there. Let's open up this. We'll put that in there. So that sees all of those, and this sees nothing. So if I put, if I dump my inventory into here, which let's actually do that. None of those items show up here. So what's happening is the quartz fibers, Applied Energistics runs on channels. Let's just start with that. I've talked about this a little bit before. I don't remember if I talked about it in this series, but I've talked about it before in different series. Applied Energistics runs on channels. A channel is something that transfers data. These cables only transfer 8 channels. You can make better cables that transfer up to 32. ME controllers have 32 channels per side, and a lot of the complexity of Applied Energistics is dealing with channels. Anything that transfers items in or out of reality, kind of, requires channels. So things that require channels are like terminals, ME drives, storage buses, import buses, export buses, interfaces, things we haven't seen yet. There's quite a few things that require channels. Things that don't require channels. Things like inscribers. Inscribers you can hook up to an ME system. They don't require any channels. They just use power. Chargers. They don't use any item manipulation. They do things to items, but they don't actually make items materialize. It's kind of complicated, but I hope you get the gist. So what's a quartz fiber versus a glass cable? Well, glass cables transfer channels. Quartz fibers do not transfer channels. They only transfer power. So what we have here is basically a subnetwork. We have the ME controller going off here, and right here, instead of sending any channels over to these two, there are no channel transfers. So basically, everything there is on one channel. Everything over here is on one channel. It was on one network, rather, not channel, network. So basically, the only thing that this terminal can see is this drive fixture. So we're only going to see our elements. This guy can see only the ME drive and, well, the controller, but controllers don't actually transfer channels. Like, they don't use channels, rather. So yeah, this is kind of complicated, but does what I was trying to do with the view cells. View cells allow you to kind of not see certain things, but unfortunately it doesn't look like I can do a modded filter. If I could do a filter by mod, then it would have worked the way I wanted it to, but I can't, so oh well. Anyways, we are going to need to deal with power very soon, but before we do, let's go ahead and see if we can do any more quests. We can't make the singularity until we get a 64K storage drive, or higher, I guess. I don't know if higher can go in there, but this is going to take a while to get, especially because we're going to need a bunch of calculation processors. I'll probably do the math on that and see how many processors we need, but that's going to take a while to get to. We'll do that another time. Let's see, what else do we have in here? Is it just the... It's just the exchanger. So let's go ahead and make this if we can. Now that recipe is awful, but there is another recipe that requires radium. How do we get radium? Radium chloride, which comes from lava. How much of that do we have? We have like 4. So we need 10. Okay, so that's something I guess we're gonna have to deal with later. I don't really want to go through a lot of lava right now, so we'll wait on that. Let's see what else we have. Charcoal stuff. There's 4 quests. We have 3 total that we can do. Alchemy. We have, let's see, 1, 2, we have a bunch of things we can start working on, but a lot of that is kind of a pain. Paracel, we can't do any of the quests in there. Let's see, Aura Cascade, we really can't do anything yet with that. I don't know how we get these ore berry bushes. That's going to be weird. Actually, I have an idea for that, but it's going to require us getting villagers. Can we get villagers? Villager egg spawner is nothing? No. Okay. So we'll have to figure out something with that. But it looks like for the time being, there's not really much we can do. Because this stuff is all kill players. We don't have any other players. I'm playing the single player, so can't do much with that. Shards of minium, we could do that. You know what? We need 3 shards of minium. We can at least start that. That's gonna take 5 minutes for the actual, like, stuff to happen. But we can at least start making some of the stuff. So drying racks are really cheap, really easy to make, and we just need to find places to put these. Let's see, because I don't think that would work. I guess let's build just a little bit of a wall. And we'll just do this. And we need blood, congealed blood specifically, which we can get from rotten flesh. Now, how much of this we get for each little bit of blood? I honestly don't know. So it's 160. We get 5 each. So that's what? Oh my gosh, I have to do math. So every 2 is 10. 60 is 120. Let's just do a stack and see how much it is. So we'll go ahead and smelt up a stack of rotten flesh. How much rotten flesh do we have over here, though? That is a good question, actually. So we're gonna have to kind of figure out some stuff to do with. Oh wow, we have a lot of rotten flesh currently. Good. This is working really well. That's kind of a surprise, but also not. I'm fairly happy with it. Alright, so we'll get feathers like so. I guess carrots can go here. Alright, cool. So yeah, that's working out fairly nicely. So I realize we don't want to do that. There's 135 millibuckets. Let's insert. Get that out of there. And then turn back to extract. So how much is currently in here? We have 180. I mean 64 times 5. So it's 32 times. It's 320. For each one of these, I mean so a stack is 2. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's just throw all of that in there. And we'll get a bunch of blood. Now, once we have our first... Okay, we can cast one out. Basically, you just do this. It congeals and turns into like a slime ball. So then we can take this, and in order to get the... What are they called? Blood drops? Coagulated blood drops. So basically, we just put that on here. And eventually, in 5 minutes, this will turn into that item. Now, if we want the shards, the MineChem dust, we just need ash and azure dust, or we can get it from calcination of things like diamonds. So I think we just need 3. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to calcinate some diamonds, and that'll give us our MineChem shards. Or I guess that'll give us the MineChem dust that we can then use to make the shards of MineChem. Now the other quest that we need to do is the alchemical bag, and this is the top tier. That's going to require a bunch more of the MineChem. So let's get 8 more diamonds. And we can go ahead and do that one right away. And we're going to need a piece of wool. And we just got to wait on that. So nothing too difficult there. I guess the last thing I want to do is deal with this charcoal, which should not be a problem to deal with. We're just going to turn it all into as much blocks as we can, compress it as much as I can anyways, and call it a day with that. So here is the cactus. We're going to do this one at a time so I don't get confused with where things go. But now I can kind of see fairly easily where everything is. In fact, we have a crafting table over here. Let's go ahead and use this one. So potatoes right here. We have a few apples, which is the first one. We have carrots. And basically I just kind of cleaned out my... cleaned out the chest as best as I could. I didn't make any more melons than I already had, but whatever. Can turn this into a carrot block double compressed. And then finally the melons. Which that is pumpkin. Oh wait, no, these are pumpkin. I don't have any of the melon. You'll probably get a few melon charcoal. But not really enough to do anything with, so not gonna worry about it. Alright, do we have all the MineChem shards we need? Can we make the alchemical... Oops. Make the alchemical bag. What is that going to give us? It's going to give us a reward bag, some azure dust, and some verdant dust. Nothing too bad. But the alchemical bags, the kind of nice thing about these are you can stack them. So you can have basically infinite storage. But we'll just go ahead and do that. Put this stuff in here. And we have a good reward bag, so that's blocks, stone bricks. Really? Okay, whatever. So that was disappointing, but whatever. Anyways, that's going to be it for today's episode. Next time we're going to do a little bit of power work, I think. I'm going to start cleaning up the inventories and putting them in here. We need to start looking at getting further along in some of the other quest lines. We need to do our cascade at some point, but I'm going to get the coagulated blood drops so that we can get the shards of MineChem, which I have no idea what these are used for, but we'll just kind of mess with it and go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.